The Void Playground. So today we got a very short but sweet episode for you. We are going to be talking about The Spider Within, which is a short film from the Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse universe. This movie is very fresh in my mind. I just watched it. If you get the chance, check it out on YouTube. But JD, real quick, what were your thoughts on this short animated film?
So my thoughts on this one is really nice. I really like the art structure of what they doing with Miles and his dad and everything, and also and oh yeah, by the way, guys, we're going to spoiler territory here. So if you guys have not watched it, click away from the podcast right now. Go watch it. It's about 8 minutes, and then come back to this podcast. But yeah, like
You've been warned.
You've been warned basically. So basically what I really like about it is like the storytelling of like his powers, like basically what's going on with his Spidey powers, right? You kind of see it in a way with Peter Parker and Venom in a way. So I'm just thinking in my head, okay, what does this mean? Like I'm trying to unwrap like what is the mean of like his spider powers and what's it trying to tell him, all that, you know? So for me, it's like, is his spider powers suddenly going to abandon him, or his spider powers are trying to tell him something like a hidden message or something like that? But overall, like it's a very, very good short film, and I'm excited for the part two of Into the Spider-Verse, or Across the Spider-Verse actually. So I can't wait for that movie to come out.
That's awesome, man. Well, look, I mean, these two movies, the Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse and Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, have just been top-notch and as far as storytelling, top-notch as far as animation, top-notch as far as action. And so going into this short, I already knew this was going to be, once again, top-notch animated. It was very good, very, it's like an appetizer, right, before our big meal, when we get the next Spider-Verse movie.
Yeah.
So I really liked it. Little creepy. There's some definitely creepy moments in here. If you have arachnophobia or sleep paralysis, you might want to shy away from this one. But, other than that, man, yeah, I really enjoyed it, and I really appreciate, that Sony, kind of gave us a little snippet, with this. So, but yeah, I don't know. I'm watching this movie has my curiosity peaked, and it's like, what a time to be a Spider-Man fan, right? Like we got the game that came out and now these movies and stuff. So, yeah. So look, guys, this is going to be a relatively short episode, but what I want you guys to do is let us know your thoughts about the Spider-Verse. Let us know your thoughts about the franchise and the series, what you want to see next. JD, do you have any other thoughts on the short?
Question for you, Space. What do you think about what was going on with his powers? Like with his spider powers? Do you have a hypothesis or a hunch?
Right. So when I saw the so he's sleeping, he's got sleep paralysis, then obviously he's having some kind of psychotic dream. But one of the moments that I looked at was the moment where his spider senses go off when his dad kind of pops in.
Mm-hmm.
And so looking at that, okay, boom, so spider sense, danger, sleep paralysis dream, pretty creepy, it turns into a giant spider. It's like a shadow version of him, right?
Yeah.
He's on a train, so trains in Spider-Man generally mean something bad is going to happen, right? If you look at Spider-Man 2, there's the infamous train scene, right?
Yeah.
We're talking about I'm talking about the Tobey Maguire version, but
the Tobey Maguire one,
yeah, and then so in this one he's on a train. There's the shadow version of Spider-Man. So like, what inner demons is he fighting with, right? At the end, he talks about, I just got a lot on my mind. Like, what demons is he fighting with? What stresses is he fighting with? And it's manifesting himself. It's manifesting in the form of the spider nightmare, right? Where starts off as shadow him. Okay. Then it's like a giant spider. Okay. Well, what does that mean? Right. Obviously Spider-Man, that type of stuff. And then what's interesting is it turns into a bunch of spiders, right? Mm-hmm. So Um, there's a lot of things this could mean. This could mean that when it turns into a bunch of spiders, that could be referencing the Spider Verse itself, right? How there's a bunch of different Spider Men, right?
Yeah.
And then the fact that he's kind of paralyzed by these spiders, that could mean something too. So there's a lot of elements here that I can only speculate, right? But it's kind of fun though, right? Us being able to have these type of conversations.
Yeah, and then like that part when he's on the train, he's trying to use his electric powers, but he couldn't.
Yes.
He punches his shadow, but it doesn't phase the shadow.
Yeah. So this kind of goes back to the sleep paralysis. If you've ever experienced sleep paralysis, you're awake, your mind is awake, but your body you're unable to move. So it's really scary. And sometimes you have hallucinations. You might imagine someone else is in the room, or you might imagine that there's some type of creature in the room. And so it's not a fun experience. Sometimes you experience extreme fear, right? Sometimes you don't, but that's kind of him not being able to use his powers, I think is kind of goes along with the theme that they were going with of sleep paralysis.
Do you think he had sleep paralysis, or do you think it was his actual Spider-Man powers?
Sleep paralysis, it could be both, right? So sleep paralysis is something that I've experienced it myself, but it's a condition that some people might have it a lot. Some people might have it once in a while. Some people might never experience it, right? So it's kind of one of those situations. Factors, could be, I'm not a psychiatrist. I'm not an expert on this subject, but, stress, right? Being overwhelmed, right? Lack of sleep or bad sleep, right? So, these are things that can kind of cause this condition. So, amongst other things, if you guys, I'm not an expert, so if you guys want to research that, you guys can. But I don't know. That's kind of, I don't know. I like. What are your closing thoughts on this?
I really enjoyed the short. I cannot wait till part 2 of Across the Spider-Verse for what the artist, what the team has in store for us. I'm just waiting for it. We talked about Across the Spider-Verse last year when it came out, and what I said was that like it felt too short for me. It just felt like another 45 minutes to an hour could have done it for me, but I'm glad that they're going to put it into 2 parts so that we could explore more of the world and see what's going on. Last time we saw Miles, besides the short, he was in a different Spider-Man world. He was in a different metaverse.
Sure.
So he was in his own world. So yeah, I just want to see what's going to happen and the new movie that's coming out. When is that coming out anyway?
I have no idea, honestly, at this point. Hopefully, I don't want them to rush it, but hopefully, maybe later on this year or maybe next year. Early next year would be kind of cool.
Yeah. So far, no new announcements on when it's going to be coming out. So hopefully, we get an announcement soon.
Yeah, that'd be really great. So cool, man. Well, guys, there you have it. If you haven't seen this short, The Spider Within, which is kind of a cool title, go check it out. It's free online. And look, if you guys want to support us, visit thevoid.gg, and we will see you guys in the next episode.